Hello, my name is Kara Penetro, and welcome back to the Weaver Wire. We have some more exciting stories from around Guilford County schools. First, we had time to interview Mario Pennycook, a UTI technician, to talk about future careers in the field of technology.
Piece of radio equipment. It works as a heat shield as well too, and you can actually see the carving lines on it. So obviously something like this takes a lot more lines of coding to be able to produce, and I'll pass it around for you guys to check that out as well. My name is Mario Pennycook. I'm the local admissions marketing manager with NASCAR Technical Institute and Universal Technical Institute, as well as represented Motorcycle Marine Mechanics Institute. Well, no, a lot of times for a lot of the students that take trade classes, they may think, all right, I like my trade classes, but they may look at STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, as only being something for someone interested in a four-year school. So obviously this car is not a car this engine block is not one to build, to try to build, 700, 800. But science, technology, engineering, and math is extremely prevalent in the trades, especially the amount of technology that you're seeing in the industries that we serve. Whether you want to be a machinist, machining now is very computer controlled. Today's cars have anywhere from 2 to 3 dozen computers in it. And even to be a welder, I mean, there's a lot more technology out there in the welding field. And of course, engineering principles apply to all the sectors. And also using math as well too in a hands-on fashion is very important to our industries. By a professional technician to make sure they're properly tuning the suspension to get the most out of it for their rider. Well, for us, Universal Technical Institute, we're the largest system of technician schools in the country. We've been around since 1965. We actually partner with almost 3 dozen different manufacturers, everyone from Ford and BMW, Mercedes, Porsche. So these are companies that have a huge demand for technicians. The demand for technicians right now is unbelievable because, just in vehicles alone, today's cars are a lot more complicated than the cars that I grew up working in the front yard. And as we continue to sell more advanced vehicles, the need for technicians that are comfortable working with that technology, it's only going to continue to grow. We have welding programs, which we actually started up a welding program. Well, if someone is interested in our program, they can visit our website, uti.edu. They can register there, and they can actually then talk with one of our representatives, because one of the big things for us is that we want to make sure that we have students that are coming to our school that are serious about our trade. We're a very hands-on program, we're very career focused, and we're looking for students that are interested in not just going to school for a piece of paper, but getting the training that they need to end up into a really phenomenal career. And the demand for technicians is so high that we actually have a lot of companies that we work with that once our students graduate and go work for them, they'll actually help them repay a big chunk of the cost of their education. So for us, we definitely want students that are serious and committed to get into the fields that we train for. What's kind of cool is that this engine, the ST, which the ST is front-load. Get there faster. I mean, that's part of one of our biggest slogans that we use. And we say that because we're all about helping our students, not forcing them to take classes that they don't need, not related to their trade. So our students can get a very career-focused education in a shorter period of time, but they're getting more of what they need to be successful in that time. And that way they can get to school, graduate in about a year, and start building a career and not just be stuck in a dead-end job.
We had a chance to see former Ragsdale High School track star Bryce Anthony as he currently competes as an all-around track athlete at Davidson College. Let's take a look at that.
Where are they now? Former Ragsdale track and field standout Bryce Anthony was a high school All-American in the decathlon in 2019. Today, as a junior, he is doing the same as a standout hurdler and multi-event athlete for the Davidson College Wildcats. We had a chance to see him in action at the Visit Winston-Salem College kickoff held at the JDL track in Winston-Salem, NC. Bryce was able to finish 3rd in the 60 meters hurdles and 12th in the pole vault. We wish him continued success in the future. Go Wildcats!
We talked to Air Force recruiters Joshua Shryock and Corey Logsdon about how the Air Force varies from all the other military forces. What would be the best suit for you?
Good morning, future airmen. I'm Staff Sergeant Corey Logsdon. I'm one of your local Air Force recruiters here in Greensboro.
And I'm Master Sergeant Joshua Shryock. And one of the questions we get asked often about the U.S. Air Force is why the Air Force in general? And we like to do that by answering some questions, some common questions that we often get that can kind of help understand what the Air Force has to offer. So the Air Force has plenty of benefits from education to retirement to learning a skill set, and we'll touch on some of those as we go today.
So the first thing we're going to touch on today is a little bit about how the Air Force could help with college. So one of the biggest differences between the Air Force and the rest of our branches is that the Air Force is the only branch that has an accredited community college through us. It's both nationally and regionally accredited. It's called the Community College of the Air Force. What this does for you is as soon as you start basic military training, you automatically get enrolled into an applied science degree in one of the 150 plus jobs that we have to offer in the United States Air Force. Not only does this set you up for marketability in the long run, but it also gives you that extra step you need to get a role into college.
A very common one, and one close to my heart personally, is the long-term benefits of joining the Air Force. And so a lot of times when people ask, well, what can I do, if I join the Air Force 10 years from now, 20 years from now, et cetera? And the biggest benefit is really the retirement system. And so many people know that retiring from the military is possible after 20 years of service, but that comes with a lot of different things in mind too. So the first is called the blended retirement system, and all that is a system that allows you to put money away into a 401k type of program for 20 years. You can get a government match on top of that as you invest, and then after 20 years of service you can retire from the military and retire from the Air Force and receive a pension for life. And so that's one of the biggest benefits for long-term service in the Air Force.
What to kind of expect in the first years of joining the Air Force. So I'll start it off kind of like this, right? The Air Force is the branch that has the shortest basic military training in it. Our basic military training is, as of right now, 7.5 weeks because of the COVID situation. Normally it's 8.5 weeks, but because of that COVID situation, it has been cut into 7.5 weeks. You can expect to do at least, most of our jobs are at least about 2 to 3 months of what we call technical school. You might, other branches might call it AIT or Airmen in Training or something like that, but we call it technical school. And basically what this is it's essentially like going to college, right? And in this skill, or in this school, you go to school from 7:30 in the morning to about 3:30, 4 in the evening, and then kind of the evenings are yours, right? In that school, you're going to learn the basics of what your job is. So for me, I was a civil engineer electrician before I was selected to be a recruiter in the United States Air Force.
Another perception that we often find is pilots, right? A lot of times people think that everyone in the Air Force is a pilot. So we get asked the question, do I have to fly a plane whenever I join the Air Force, or do I have to work with aircraft? And it couldn't be further from the truth, actually. So it is true that the main mission of the Air Force is to provide air support and air power for our military wherever we're operating, but there's all kinds of different career fields in the Air Force that come together to make that happen. So there are individuals who fly, pilots in the Air Force that are officers. There are also enlisted members who can join and be a part of working on aircraft, making sure that they're able to get off the ground safely. There are also individuals who fly on aircraft as their profession too, but then we also have career fields in the medical profession. All of our bases need a clinic to provide treatment for for everyone, medical treatment, basic medical treatment, and so there's medical career fields. There's also civil engineering career fields that help the installations run, like electricians and construction workers and those kinds of things as well. We also have a lot of career fields in intelligence and cybersecurity. That is a big field right now. IT and cyber systems, cybersecurity. The Air Force is expanding into those greatly. So there's a little bit for everyone. We have more than 200 career fields to choose from. And there's a little bit for everyone, just kind of depends on what the individual's interest level is. And then no matter what career field you end up going into, you also receive that Community College of the Air Force degree and learn that skill set and have the same education benefits across the board. We appreciate everyone's time and attention with this. In closing, I'm Master Sergeant Shryock once again, and this is Staff Sergeant Logston. Our office is located on Battleground Avenue in Greensboro. It's 2917 Battleground Avenue. We're very easy to find on Google Maps. If you just Google Air Force recruiting, we show right up on there, or just go to airforce.com, click connect, find a recruiter, and then put in your zip code, and then our information will pop up there as well.
Two Weaver Academy culinary students taught us knife safety skills. Let us have a look at their presentation.
Hello, my name is Jose Ángel Medina Martinez and my partner.
My name is Papa Elke. Today we're going to be talking about the importance of having a sharp knife. So we're using two different types of knives, a chef's knife and a serrated. To know how a knife is sharp, you can use something with a thin skin, like a tomato, and just score the edges like this. So now we're going to be peeling a carrot with a vegetable peeler. So you can use a carrot without peeling it, but if you want the vibrant color, you'd want to peel it. So then we'll take all the peelings and put it in our trash bin. So we're gonna cut off the tip of it on both sides, and then you can just do a nice chop. So now we have nice round, circular cubes of carrot.
Now I'm going to show you how to properly hold a knife. So most people hold it like this. This is pretty common, but the problem with this kind of hold, there's no control. You know, when you're moving around like this, it's not really good. So to properly hold a knife, put your thumb right here and your index finger right here to hold it, and make sure it becomes like an extension of your arm. Now, what I'm going to demonstrate is how to properly cut an onion. So first off, cut it by half. And you see, properly in half, and it makes it easier to peel off. Now I'm going to teach you how to properly do a classical French dice. First, cut this edge off. Makes things easier and more even. And first, we cut from this point near to the root, but don't cut the root, because if you cut the root, well, hope you like crying a lot. So what you do, slice through, make it as even as possible while holding your hand like this, or do like a little grip to it. Oh, so you don't slip. Now hold it like this, slice across. Now you can make it as big or small as you like, fine or medium. I'm gonna do a standard one. So cut through. But if you like it more fine, you can cut much more thinner, like this. As you see, they're much more finer. And finish it off, you know, just cut it off. Turn it a little bit, and all that's left is the root. And if you want to chop it up, you can. As you can see, I have an easier time slicing through the onion by properly holding and not using a lot of force. Now we'll get to the potato. So the potato looks pretty good on the outside, but we don't know if it's good on the inside, so what we do it just by slicing in half. As you can see, it's really good. Now one cut I'm going to show you is called a bonnet, which is basically like a French fry cut. Now this is where having a good grip to it is going to be really important. You slice it through. Slice through, and you can cut into a little bonnet. But if you like yours a bit more cubed, just line them up and just chop them up. There you go. I got little cubes. But one important thing about cutting a potato, always have some kind of cold water with you, because the problem with potatoes, they oxidize, so they'll have a very, like a brownish color, very ugly looking. So when you chop it up, we should put them in cold water. Now go ahead and slice through. Just standard.
So that's how you would properly cut a carrot, onion, and potato. My name is Papa Johanna.
And my name is Jose. I am Medea Martinez. Thank you.
On April 27th to the 29th, the North Carolina Skills USA Conference was held at Greensboro Coliseum as well as the GTCC campus. Some of our Weaver Academy students competed in several CTE competitions. Here's what some of them had to say about their experience. Recently, our Weaver students had the chance to compete in the 2022 North Carolina Skills USA competition. Let's find out a little more about it.
So I competed in the digital cinema competition, and we were given 1 week to write, film, edit a 4 to 6 minute short film based on a prompt that we were given. The prompt that we were given was things aren't always as they seem, so we could just take that and go wherever we want with it.
I was responsible for completing multiple tasks that related to different parts of a vehicle, and then we were judged on how well we completed those tasks.
I competed in the culinary arts competition for Weaver Academy, and for the competition we had to fabricate 2 chicken breasts, we had to make a starch, and we had to make a vegetable. And we also had to make a soup in 2 hours.
My teammate and I, Mariana Chapman, we competed in the video production competition. We were given a prompt, which was Skills USA and You, the perfect partnership, and we were given about 2 hours to film and 2 hours to edit all the footage we got.
We participated in the audio and radio competition, and so what we had to do is we had to make a 2-minute and 30-second long audio spot that was like a 1-minute story, 30-second commercial that we also had to make, and then another 1-minute story.
It was stressful, but having that time constraint, it was new to me, but it sped up the whole writing process because you just had to pick something and stick with it. So yeah.
I have a really good experience at the competition. I got to meet people from all over the state. I got to have some conversations in between the stations, and just getting to work with some tools that I'd never used before, just kind of figuring stuff out. I had a really good time.
My experience, in the beginning, I was really stressed out because this is the first time competing with food. But then after I had gotten into the kitchen, I had a really fun time. I actually enjoyed walking around with everybody, seeing what everyone else was making, and then making my own thing.
My experience, it was good overall. I met a lot of different people in the field I was competing in, as well as different fields. It was educational and fun overall.
My experience was a really cool experience. Even though I didn't get to be on a stage and place, it was a really great education experience overall.
But it ended up being a lot more calm and inviting than we thought. It was a little bit confusing and stressful the first time we walked into that huge warehouse auditorium area, and there was just loud sounds and just people everywhere trying to figure out what we wanted to do first. But once we got a hang of it and figured out what we wanted to do, and we got especially what we wanted, then we were really into it, especially when we sat down then and started editing. Then we really felt like we had it.
Hi, I'm Kirsten Anderson, and today we will be talking about one of the best apps for students to use. About the current bus driver shortages, it is really hard for students to determine what bus they need to ride home or what bus they need to ride to get to school. Here Comes the Bus is a mobile tracking app that uses GPS technology to locate and track your child's school bus through the Here Comes the Bus app or website. You will need to have a laptop, cellular or mobile device, or some other device that allows tracking in order to access and use the app. Here Comes the Bus is a completely free app. When you sign up for Here Comes the Bus, you'll see the bus number, bus stop location, and scheduled bus times, the real-time location of your child's bus on a map, scheduled and actual arrival times at home and school for bus routes, and push and email notifications when the bus is near. To sign up for a Here Comes the Bus account, parents or students will need an active email address, the GCS school code, which is 87491, and the student's ID number. For more information, you can contact Here Comes the Bus at 844-854-9316. Again, that's 844-854-9316. It is as simple as that. We hope you tune in next time for what are the best apps for students to use.
That's all for today. Again, I'm Kyra Panetra, and thank you for tuning into the Weaver Wire. We hope to see you next time.
Students travel to Weaver from their home schools. We offer advanced CTE courses in apparel design, automotive technology, collision technology, construction technology, diesel technology, culinary arts, Adobe Academy, drafting, HVAC, electronics, health sciences, metals technology, and media productions. Our CTE students consistently take top honors at the national level at Skills USA and other CTE competitions. Check out our school website and our YouTube channel, Weaver Stairwell Sessions, to see and learn more about Weaver Academy.